Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of Regulalytics. Welcome to this week's Regulatory Roundup. Well, that was it, everyone. I hope you had a nice break because it's over. We had 632 alerts this week, which is super small, and I guarantee that that is the last quiet week. Call and get your subscription ASAP because quarter 4 is going to be one of the most explosive regulatory seasons on record. The regulator of the week is Colorado. 2 weeks ago, the governor wrote a letter to Congress urging them to adopt federal banking and tax rules for marijuana. But the kicker is that this week, Colorado announced that there was such a surplus in this tax year that they're issuing a statewide tax refund. Despite all of the extra expenses associated with COVID-19, tax revenues from cannabis eclipsed it all. The topic of the week are fines. So there were tons of small fines, the normal from FINRA, SEC, FTC, the usual trading, suspensions, etc. But there were 4 big ones, 2 from the FTC and 2 from the SEC. The FTC banned SpyPhone and its CEO from the surveillance business because the app secretly harvested and shared people's data on their movements, phone use, and online activities through a hidden device hack. But the company actually sold real-time access to the secret data, allowing stalkers and domestic abusers to stealthily track the potential targets of their violence. Creepy. The FTC also busted the CEO of Capital One Financial Corporation. Apparently, he is a repeat offender, but this is the first time he's actually been penalized, and he'll be paying over $600,000 personally. But apparently, it had to do with his compensation packages and not properly registering his voting shares in advance of actually taking the compensation. He's apparently done this multiple times in the last 10 years, so he definitely knew what he was doing. The SEC filed an action against BitConnect, an online crypto lending platform, for over $2 billion of unregistered offering of investments into a program involving digital assets. The SEC also busted Kraft Heinz Company for engaging in a long-running expense management scheme and accounting misconduct. They'll be paying a civil penalty of $62 million. For those of you following privacy, the CFPB revised its rule implementing the Privacy Act. And quick background, the Privacy Act is actually a rule that all federal agencies have to follow to protect citizens who give them information about themselves to the government. Anyway, I was a little surprised how basic the changes are, but it really goes to show how far behind the tech of the regulators themselves actually is, given that they're so focused on everyone else improving their privacy and cybersecurity practices. Anyway, the CFPB revised their definition of Chief Privacy Officer to mean Senior Agency Official for Privacy instead of what they formerly had, which was that the Chief Privacy Officer was just the Chief Data Officer. They also added a new NIST standard for identifying the assurance level, which means basically now people have to better authenticate themselves appropriately before submitting data to the organization. For those of you following diversity and inclusion, the Fed put out guidance this week on its expectations around Juneteenth, especially in relation to the Truth in Lending Act and the official meaning of Business Day. In the innovation space, the SEC is formally requesting public comment related to digital engagement practices, or DEPs. Apparently, it's an acronym now, including behavioral prompts, differential marketing, game-like features, aka gamification, and other design elements designed to engage with retail investors on digital platforms. As I said, gamification is going to be regulated by the SEC, and this will ultimately apply to any trading app. FinCEN carries on with its Innovation Office Hours program, and this October the topic is the role of digital identity to enhance financial services inclusion while simultaneously avoiding crime. That's all I got. Next week, I'm telling you, it's going to be enormous, and you should seriously get a subscription to Regalytics. So enjoy, and I'll see you next Wednesday on LinkedIn and YouTube.